Morning, ladies and gentlemen. You guys didn't like my first speech, so I'm going to try to trim it down a little bit. When it comes to your house, and it comes to where you live, crime is a matter. It's real simple. When they put a 10-foot little house next to your $250,000 house, everything diminishes. I don't like somebody coming in my pocket and taking my house and my values away. That's why I spoke. And I spoke very, very loudly. I normally don't. And as for being prejudiced, ain't that way. I was brought up on the East Coast, and we do it differently. If you ever hid in a dumpster, you ever had your face taken off? No, I don't think so. But we do need to protect our children and the things that we have going on here. The prison is number one, housing is number two, and most importantly, we need a little more clarity. Thank you very much.
Yes, Kim, followed by Joshua Brown.
Morning again, Kimberly District 1. So right now I'd like to talk to you guys about MHSA in the Woodlands and the Section D or Schedule D and my inability still to get the services. And so what this is, this represents about 2.5 years of communication with one person who sat on the boards and was supposed to help investigate what's going on. And when a person comes forward with this much evidence, this is 2.5 years of me asking for help. And so my problem that I face is confidentiality and legal stamps on these communications. I'd like to see some sort of advocacy group. Like I can't go to the advocacy group at MHSA because my case is closed. It's keeping my case closed at MHSA is sort of what they're using as a safeguard for themselves. If I was a litigious person and I hired a disability rights attorney, I could take this county down to the ground. Like, I have proof. It would be millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's not what I want. I don't want to hurt the county. I don't want a bunch of money. Money doesn't matter to me. What I want to see is the system, the Schedule D, the Section D, what they said that they were going to do to get the federal funding. I want to see that happen. I don't want to see any more death. I don't. One of the things that MHSA was responsible for in this program was to make sure that there was a residence council. And in the first year, Robin Mayer and I were working on creating that council. And it was such a good program that I had located to base our residence council on, that Phil Crawford turned around and used it at the CRRC. Why isn't there a residence council at the Woodlands? Because they don't want people to know what's going on. What's one of the best things a residence council could do? A residence council could plan a New Year's Eve party so that we don't lose another MHSA tenant to suicide on New Year's Eve. We don't get to do that because our program is kneecapped. And somebody like me who has either the audacity, the bravery, or the insanity enough to come forward and put my own housing on the line. My housing gets targeted when I come in and report to you guys. But I'm willing to stand up and do it because why? I just want the county to follow their contract. I'm hopeful for this issue C5 coming up. I'm hopeful for the new CEO coming on board. What I'd really like to see you guys do is appoint some kind of legal whistleblower that I can legally take this evidence to without either putting a board member's job on the line, the board member who I was communicating with, I don't want to put them on the line. There has to be some legal way to help you guys address this evidence.
Thank you, Kim. Supervisor Bricker.
Kim, have you ever been to a mental health, alcohol, and drug board meeting?
No, I haven't.
That is where I think that this would be the most appropriate discussion because we have people all the time come for public comment with concerns, and they're addressed, generally speaking, oftentimes that same evening. So We meet the first Wednesday of the month, generally, our last meeting was at the Boggs, building out by, off of Breslauer. So I would highly recommend that you come there. And just for your information, the chair of the board has looked into the Woodlands, and had several meetings. I've attended several. So there has been actual, investigations going on and discussions over the last 2 or 3 years. So,
And what's the name of that chair?
yes, he's Ron Henninger.
Yeah.
Hey Kim, I'll take.
Here's my 2.5 years of communications with Dr. Ron Henninger, and here's where I get really unnerved. He knows. Why is it that I'm standing here before the 5 of you begging for help? He investigated for 18 months. He knows. Why isn't he up here talking? Why isn't he sitting down with our other 3 board members who are willing to address this? What I'm being told, one of the things that I was told was, how is it that you can indulge in these benefits but support the Republicans? So I'm a political prisoner because I believe in America first? That's not right. There's this going on in this system, and I can scream for 2.5 years. I can bare my soul and I can put my housing on the line, and yet it's all still happening. Nobody's doing anything about it. I need to go sit down and shut up. I'm upset.
Well, I would suggest you go to a mental health, alcohol, and drug board meeting. That's where this would be the most appropriate. That would be the most appropriate.
Why? Because you don't want me to say it here?
No. I'm trying to get you help. I tried to get you help years ago, didn't I?
You know, as a matter of fact, I searched my computer for an email from you and I don't have it. What I have is somebody, Dr. Henninger, sharing an article.
Well, that we did meet, Kim.
I'm not saying you didn't meet. What I'm saying is I didn't find an email. You told me in one of the previous meetings that you emailed me. If you did, I'd like you to resend that because I don't have it.
I don't go back 5 or 6 years. We met, but I'm not gonna go back for it. Please just go to a mental health, alcohol, and drug board meeting. That's where these kinds of issues will be addressed, okay?
Supervisor Pryor.
Kim, if you have emails printed out, if you have copies, I'll take them.
This is how you take care of business. What he just did, you could have done that. Thank you, Mr. Fry.
Oh, that's not.
Thank you, Kim.
That,
Joshua Brown.
Kim, you don't understand at
I
this
do
level.
understand. I'm living it. You don't understand.
Joshua Brown.
Okay, I've calmed down, and the N-word just freaked me out before. I respect everyone's First Amendment rights. I agree with Nathan about that racism is bad, and I agree about the housing and about the mental health care. I agree that transcends politics. That people first. So. And I'm not comfortable with, and again, respect to everyone's First Amendment right. I'm no stranger to free speech rights in the U.S., McCarthy era. But, yeah, so, yeah. Anyway, I'm also, hello, board. I hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day. America has great wealth. Everybody deserves a living wage. I rise for the 3rd time in strong support of the county union. I was on the picket line as an ally. I'm not sure where the negotiations are on that because you discussed it in closed session. I'm guessing it's the thing on the bottom of the agenda. It's unfortunate that it's down there. I'll say once again that there's plenty of money for our county workers. It's just misallocated. Reverse the Dominion decision is one idea. I respect Chris Street's right to speak. I think he's trying to retaliate because you didn't hire him. I don't think we can afford not to pay our county workers a living wage. I've said this twice before, but here's something I haven't said about this yet. I want to respond to the other side of this argument because often things get lost in political translation, but I've heard some argue against the county employees getting a living wage who think the union is elitist. I tell those who think this, they are surely mistaken. Workers are not elitist. They're the very opposite. If workers demanding their rights are elitist, we must be a very, 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 very poor society. I've heard that giving something for free is communism. In the first place, without workers, nothing would get